Hello everyone, today's lesson is lesson 79, finding equivalent fractions by multiplying by 1. So equivalent fractions are fractions with different names for the same number. So for example, 1/2 is the same as 2/4, 3/6, and 4/8. Okay, they're equivalent because they're equal to each other. So to find equivalent fractions, we multiply a number by a different fraction name for 1. For example, here we have 1/2 times 2/2. Well, 2/2 is equal to 1. And we know when we multiply any number by 1, my number stays the same. The only thing I'm doing is changing what it looks like. Okay, so 1/2 times 2/2 equals 2/4. And 2/4 and 1/2 are the same. Okay, 1/2 times 3/3 is equal to 3/6. And you can see that since 3/3 equals 1, 3/6 is the same as 1/2. And then 1/2 times 4/4 equals 4/8. And again, because 4/4 is equal to 1, 4/8 is the same as 1/2. So I can change the name of 1/2 by multiplying it by any number that is equal to 1. So the fraction has to have the same number top and bottom. Okay, so if I wanted to get 5/10, I would multiply 1/2 by 5/5. To get 6/12, I would multiply it by 6/6, etc. So all of these fractions here all equal 1/2. Okay, so this problem asks, what name for 1 should 3/4 be multiplied by to make 6/8? So what it's asking is, it's saying 3/4 times what fraction equals 6/8? Okay, so to help us figure this out, I'm going to think, okay, 3 times what equals 6? Well, I know 3 times 2 equals 6. So if I need this fraction to equal 1, like it's supposed to, that means that the denominator also has to be 2. Okay, and we can check. 4 times 2 is 8. So my fraction, the answer to this problem is 2/2 is the fraction I was looking for. Okay, this one asks, what fraction equal to 2/3? Write a fraction equal to 2/3 that has a denominator of 12. So in this case, we're saying that 2/3 equals some fraction that it has a denominator of 12. So before I can figure out what the numerator is, I have to figure out 2/3 times what fraction equals something over 12. So what I do is I think, okay, 3 times what equals 12? Well, 3 times 4 equals 12. And since this fraction has to equal 1, right? If the denominator is 4, that means the numerator has to be 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So 8/12 is the same as 2/3. Okay. On this next one, it says, write a fraction equal to 1/3 that has a denominator of 12. Then write a fraction equal to 1/4 that has a denominator of 12. What is the sum of the two fractions you made? So we're going to have to do this 2 steps. So I'm thinking 1/3 times what equals something with 12 on the bottom. And then the same, I have 1/4 times a fraction equals something with a denominator of 12. Well, I know 3 times 4 equals 12. So if I multiply the bottom by 4, I have to multiply the top by 4. 1 times 4 is 4. Then I have, 4 times 3 is 12. So if I multiply the bottom by 3, I have to multiply the top by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Then it asks for what the sum is. So we're going to do 4/12 plus 3/12. 4/12 plus 3/12 equals 7/12. And that will be my answer for this problem. All right, on the next problem it says, write 3/4 as a fraction with a denominator of 100. Then write that fraction as a percent. Okay, so we have 3/4 times something equals something with a denominator of 100? Well, I happen to know that 4 times 25 equals 100. So if I multiply the bottom by 25, I have to multiply the top by 25. So we have to figure out what is 25 times 3. Okay, so 3 times 5 is 15, carry my 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So 3/4 is the same as 75 over 100. Now remember, a percent, it just has to be a fraction that has a denominator of 100. So this is the same as 75%. Okay, and that's it for this lesson. Good luck on your homework.